Okay, so this month's prompt for the animation generation collaboration is to build a net of a polyhedron folding up into a polyhedron. And in order to keep my life nice and simple, I'm going to do an equilateral triangle net folding up into a tetrahedron, because that's just 4 triangles. We can do this. I'm going to use this equilateral triangle calculator to work out how big this needs to be. So currently this is 378 point wide. I'm going to use this. So if the side length is 378, the height needs to be 327 and a bit. Let's go with that. But that's going to get me an equilateral triangle. I will believe that. So I'm going to pop this in the middle. Maybe make it be outline only. And then I need 4 of those, I guess. So I will flip that and pop some here. And I guess, like, at the moment, these are triangles, but I think I'm actually just going to make these be lines that come in rather than being actual triangles. But we'll get the shape that we want first. This is good enough. So to make this kind of fill the screen a bit more, I'm going to do this, ungroup that back off again. And then, yeah, so the lines that we need are going to go from sort of this corner point up to here. And I can make it be a slightly different colour just so I can see a bit better what I'm doing. That should do it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make 2 copies of that line. So this is one of the things about rotating things in Keynote that's quite fun. I'm going to say fun, but I'm also doing finger quotes as I say the word fun, mainly because you can't rotate something about a point other than its center. So this line is going to be a black line of width 5. This line is going to not have any stroke, and I'm going to grab that and group them together. So now I have an object which, if I were to rotate it around its center, would look like an object rotating around that end of the line, which is what I want. And I guess I no longer need that triangle, but I do want another one of those rotated 360 degrees. I'm going to pop it there. And then these 2 things are the things that I'm going to make into the, I guess, the edges of the triangle. And in order to do that, I'm going to do a rotate action like that. I'm going to get it to rotate 90 degrees so that it's all the way down there. And then I will also resize that. So I guess what that's actually done is add a scale action as well. Here's my build order. So it's added a scale action. And yeah, we'll go to, I'm going to say 58% should get me to the center of the triangle. Don't ask me how I know that. I worked it out earlier. So that's good. And then this one, I'm also going to add a rotate effect, 90 degrees, but this time clockwise. It's important to get clockwise and anti-clockwise the right way around. Or so I've heard. And then the scale action on that, again, I want 58. Now this is fun because I get it to do all of these things at the same time, like that. And if I preview that, that's not amazing, is it? It kind of just crosses over in the middle. It doesn't look like 2 lines that are going to the same place. And I think part of the problem here is that they don't get shorter in a consistent way. So there's a point, I guess, when they're parallel with or concurrent with this edge of the middle triangle, when they're actually shorter than that. So I'm going to, instead of making that a 58, I'm going to make that like a 48. And then I'm going to add another scale action that takes it back up to 58. So that now, and I'm going to make that one happen after the one where it gets bigger again happens after the one where it gets smaller. Those 2 both happen first. but these two both take half as long. So if I try that, yeah, no, it needs to happen with, these are all a with. There we go. Yeah, that looks a lot more like it's going along a straight line down the middle. So I just need to set up the same kind of thing on this one. So the first scale is to 48 and the second scale is back to 58, and these two are both half a second. No, it's this one and this one. This one and this one are here at the same time as each other, and that one is after the one before it, and that one is got the wrong ones. Oh, which one's which? That one's that one. Is that one there? And that one. No, that one. I've confused myself. That one's scaling one time. Those three are all just scaling the same object, so I don't need that one. That one, add a scale action to 58. And there's its previous scale action, which should now be to 48. Good. Hopefully someone watching saw exactly what just happened. And then what I need is the two 48s up here to happen with the rotate, and to each take half a second, and the two 58s to happen over half a second. That one is after the previous build, no, with the previous build, and that one is after. Oh, perfect. Again, doing the finger quotes, I see. Yeah, it's sort of alright, isn't it? I think there's a sort of difficulty here in that these animations are a little bit like hard to I think part of the problem, I guess, is that it has, as I always love, automatically put on an ease in and out on all of these, which means they're doing it in a slightly weird fashion. So I will turn off all of the ease in and outs and see if that improves. Oh, it's even worse. Right. Yeah, I can't deal with that. Let's try just an ease in on those scale get smallest, and then an ease out on the other ones, and then maybe an ease in and out on the rotation. Like, it doesn't specify what curve it's using here. It's not quite right, is it? But anyway, I've had a play with this, and here's one I made earlier, where you can just tediously watch me do all of those same things again. And on this one, I think I've got it a bit slicker, so it's all right. That one, if you're not looking at it hard, that could absolutely be a polyhedron folding up into a net. Interestingly, I looked into doing this for a square, for a cube, sorry. So here's a cube. And let's say we're looking at the top of this cube, and we're going to fold the lid off the cube by picking up the left-hand side and moving it over to the right. So the problem with this is that these are two different types of animation here. So there's a bit of a rotation of a thing that's rotating and scaling, and then there's also a thing that's moving and scaling. And I think like the curves that it uses to determine how those animations work are different. So there's a much more pronounced difference between the two different things happening. So it's a bit of a nightmare, but that's what you get. And then that, and like it's all right. It's not the greatest thing I've ever produced, but actually there's an effect here that's much more pronounced than it is. Actually, you can sort of see it in the triangle as well. But because we're scaling the object down in order to get it to be a shorter line when it's in the middle, the way that affects it is that it also makes the line thinner. And this is just a thing about how objects scale in Keynote. I guess it would be really nice if there was a way to individually manipulate the handles on an object that's got kind of points at each end, which is what these things are. But for now, this is what I'm stuck with. So I've got this acceptable tetrahedron folding in Keynote, and then I've got this slightly less acceptable shonky cube folding out. And you can see, because those lines started off as being the sort of little diagonals, it's especially worse with diagonals, because I guess if it's a straight line you're scaling, you can sort of scale it in horizontal and vertical directions in different amounts. But if it's a diagonal line, you're just scaling up the whole thing, and it just makes the whole line thicker. So for this one, it scales it up, but then it also rotates it, and the line stays very thick. So this is a puzzle I have not yet solved in Keynote, but you know, acceptable. Hope you enjoyed the video. Do your own animations. Bye.